Shutdown. I made a list this morning of reasons to think the shutdown
So let's talk a little bit more.
could end this week. Concerns over the SNAP payments, which even though the administration said they'll provide half, the Secretary of Agriculture says it'll take a long time to get those up and running. The travel industry, according to the Wall Street Journal, sent a letter to the White House saying you got to get travel back going because it's costing us business. Both sides claim the other side will cave because of Election Day, which I find kind of humorous because I see no connection between the election and ending it. And then, of course, there's this bipartisan group of senators who are talking to try to get it done. Reasons why it may not be over. It's still complex. There can be a desire for a deal, but trying to figure out how to get a deal is tough. There's still divisions within both parties. Healthcare is involved. That's always complicated. And both sides continue to see reason to keep going, and nothing's decided till everything's decided. But breaking news this morning, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma says this thing's about to end on CNBC.
And is that, Becky, we're going to probably start negotiations tomorrow with the Democrats claiming victory or claiming the higher road. I don't know what they're going to say. I can't discuss what or can't predict what they're going to say. But either way, we'll probably have the vote in the Senate either tomorrow night or Thursday. Then the House has got to come back because we're going to have to make some changes to it. We got to change the date, and there's discussions about maybe putting 3 appropriation bills on the CR2.
You think it's possible we could reopen the government this week then?
Yes, I think we'll be open by Sunday.
Sean, open by Sunday?
Yeah, just a little technicality. That would technically be next week. So he's, not to be picky, but no, it's not possible. The House has a 48-hour notice. So if you just start doing the timeline, and look, you brought this up before. This is all great in theory in the Senate where they're like highfalutin, and then they're like, we'll just do this, and then we'll send it over to the House. They'll do exactly what we say they'll do,
Right.
and then that will be it, and then we'll all go and have
The House of Lords has spoken.
Yes, we have. Thank you. I appreciate you coming back into town to do what we tell you to do. I think this is the first fit of the fits and starts that we will see. But the contours of the deal that I read, that I think we've all seen now in the press, I think maybe that's the jumping off point. But I think even Susan Collins was like, yeah, how long the CR goes, because the appropriators they don't like the idea of usurping their power. So they don't want a longer CR, which I think most of the folks on the right are like, let's take the longer deal and lock in current spending.
Yep.
So I think, yes, it's a jumping off point.
But there's not
We're
agreement
there.
on that, as you know. Okay.
Huh?
Dan, there's not agreement. The point you just suggested is true. There's just not agreement amongst
Right.
Republicans about how long the CR should be and whether it should include appropriations or not. Dan.
Yeah, I don't know what to think because the leadership still of the Democratic parties, as I said yesterday, it's like we have public opinion on our side. They think they're winning. They're silent. The idea that the deal is there will be a vote in the Senate at some point, but no guarantee in the House. What I'm trying to think about is how does Chuck Schumer go back to the base and Hakeem Jeffries, and what do they? I mean, you basically then you lost, like you. So you did all of this.
Right.
And which is what we always said, which is how do they get out of this? And message to the base.
And they'll try to convince the base that it was a big victory, but the base is too smart.
Well, and by the way, Chuck Schumer did not endorse Mandani, right? So there's going to be agita on his left locally here. Yeah. And now he's going to have this of like, I got a bunch of moderates, which we've talked about, we always thought would happen, are starting to have these conversations to get out. I don't see it.
This entire thing feels like a Saturday Night Live skit to me, right?
Yeah.
Like we're literally sitting here saying, after 35 days, you know what we could do? I have an idea. What if we reopen the government, we do a short-term deal, we give you a vote on healthcare, and then we'll pass MilCon, transportation, veterans, and get some bills going. And everyone goes, that's a great idea. Why didn't we have come up with that 31 day? I mean, this is the same. I mean, we've been saying the same damn thing for 35 days, and suddenly somebody went, hey, I have an idea. Why don't we just do that?
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.